Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Korean server qualifiers. In the top left of Lightshade, it's going to be your red Protoss from Team NV. It's Creator. And in the bottom right, we've already seen him play a little bit. From NC Esports, it's the Finnish phenom. It's Serral. So, Creator had an extremely close run in the Code qualifiers. Creator in the past was a player who really struggled with his mentality. He would have really easily get tilted just from making small mistakes. And it meant that while he was good, he never really made it to the next step. However, we saw in the Code qualifiers, and it was mentioned by Tastos at the time, Creator seems to have maybe gotten a hold of that. It was an extremely close series that he played. Did end up losing it, but was very level-headed the entire time, and his play looked really good. So it's something where you're looking at it and you say, hey, Creator on Team NV has been getting help, of course, from all of his teammates, maybe has managed to figure out his own mentality, and if that's the case, that was his biggest weakness. Creator's play was really good. It was very, very solid. It was just that he would make a lot of mistakes because of getting in his own head. And if it is true that he's managed to sort that out, it's a situation where you might look at him and you might say, hey, he could definitely, upset some big names. Now, I don't think he's going to be at the same level as a Zoun, as, like a Zest or a Trap, but you definitely look at it and you say, he can beat some really good players. He can play very well. Against someone like Serral, that's kind of unknown territory. Again, these are all played on Korean servers because it's the Korean server qualifiers. So, with that in mind, can Creator beat Serral? I absolutely think so. I think the Creator can come out here and can definitely get a win if he is playing in tip-top form. It just all comes down to how he's actually playing and how well he does. So, we'll have to see what Creator comes out, today, as we did see that early hatch block. It doesn't result in much, of course. Zergs are very used to just sending their drone down to the third base, or down to the third base if that happens. It's not something where they look at him and say, oh no, I have to take my third as my natural. Most Zergs have realized at this point that it doesn't affect you too much. The only time that it does affect you is when you are seeing something like maybe, Glaive Adepts can take advantage of it, just because you have a majority of your drones at your third and your main, so it's easier for them to hop around. But other than that, it's not something that really does a ton of damage to the Zerg. It slows down their economy just a little bit, and ooh, Serral might actually lose the Overlord here. Did not micro onto the pillar right, and that's just an early loss that you don't really want to take as the Zerg. It's something where you look at it, and if you can avoid losing that Overlord, that's great, because that gives you scouting information. Now you see Creator already has at the back of his base that Twilight Council, and I kind of called it. It really did seem like it from how the positioning was. It's going to be Glaives. 2 more gateways on the way, and we'll have to see how many gateways Creator goes up into. Now he's taking additional gas with us, so the additional gas kind of clues you in to saying this isn't going to be heavy glaive pressure. Usually, if you're just going glaive to depths, you will only have the 2 gas and nothing really more. So this is going to be a bit of a macro play. It's going to be glaive to depths. They're going to look to try and get damage, but that is not the main goal here for Creator. The main goal for him is he's going to be trying to transition into double Stargate? Excuse me? Creator, what? I mean, Serral scouts it, right? Yeah. Serral sees it. He clicks on it.
First queen ready.
Okay. Well, let's see, because Resonating Glaives is finishing up. It's a good amount of adepts. It's 8 adepts right now out on the map. And double Stargate, okay. All right, Creator, I like it. I like it. Show me what you have. This is like an SOS type build, and I would not be surprised if Creator got this build from SOS. And we'll just have to see how much damage it actually gets done, because there are already roaches that are on the map. And you see the shades just going in, and yeah, Creator, I think, realizing from that position that he's not able to commit on any. Would, of course, still like to see him poke around these Adepts. You want to try and keep pressure onto the Zerg, but you don't want to lose them as well, as Phoenixes are being double pumped. It's not even 2 Stargate Void Ray. It's 2 Stargate Phoenix. This is wild. And this is absolutely an SOS build. I would be surprised if Creator did not get this from SOS. As the Adepts are going to be able to push back the Zerglings, but we'll see as Serral going to try and go for the cancel, and I think this is, yeah, just the cancel onto the Nexus. Serral sees that and immediately is going to add on 10 more drones. Creator going to go for another 3rd base, see if he can have better success at this location as the Phoenixes are being produced. And what is there really for Serral to pressure here, if you're looking at it? I mean, you of course have the roaches coming in pretty decent numbers, but other than that, not really a lot of options for Serral. Is going to be adding on the Baneling Nest with the Glial Reconstitution. Creator, of course, I believe is stopping Phoenix production, only has 1 producing at a time and getting into the Robo facility. So, yeah, I mean, what an interesting opening here from Creator. Goes the Glaives, doesn't really get any damage done with them, just has light pressure, uses them to defend. Immediately, I mean, he's still producing Phoenix, so this is actually, he's committing still to the 2 Stargate Phoenix here. He's gonna get some drone damage, because of course a single Spore, it does well, but it can't get a whole Phoenix. That was pretty close. And you already have a Forge being added on, and the Robo Facility transition. This is, I mean, it's so interesting, and we'll have to see how it works, because at the moment, it's actually working decently well. Serral canceled the 3rd, but we already have this 3rd Nexus coming on up. And I don't really see what the answer here is for Serral. He's getting Zerglings, he's getting Banelings, and the Zergling's not gonna be able to push down the wall. It just feels like against a composition like this, Hydralisk might be something that you'd want to go into. Of course, Hydralisk versus Phoenix is always a matchup where it depends on the numbers. If you have more Phoenix than Hydralisks, then the Hydras get picked off so quickly it's not even funny. But in a case of just a massive Hydra Ball against Immortal Phoenix, it would do very well. But Serral, he's not going for that. He's keeping with the Roaches and the Ravagers at the current moment. And behind this, you have transitions coming through for Creator. He has, I mean, this is, Creator, what are you doing? You went Glaive Adepts, double Stargate, now double Robo Facility, into Charge +1, and he's gonna be getting up Storm. This is a crazy man's build. This is a crazy man's build, and I love it so much. This is, okay. Well, but Creator, he does have to defend, because this is a massive push that's coming out from Serral. The Queens have been walked across, and does he have enough? He only has 2 Immortals out right now. That's not a very large amount, and that is so many Queens. 13 Queens. There's only 1 shield battery at the current moment. Some good force fields here, actually. They're going to quickly get eliminated, though. The Ravagers are trying to be focused down, but there come the Baneling hits. And your Phoenix, they're good. The Immortals are good, but you don't have enough of them. And that is the issue here. It's a high-tech army that needs time to build into what Creator wants, and he does not have that time. The 3rd base is going to go down. And even if Creator survives this, this should be game over. I mean, the Queen Walk just so well played there. I believe that was an Adept that went on into the natural base of Serral. The thing is, it is a heavy committal from Serral. You know, this isn't, just something that you do on a whim. It's, of course, you had to commit a lot of Queens. You had to commit, not building any more drones, so the worker count is still very even because Creator pulled his probes. But at the same time, what does Creator have? I mean, it's a lot of Immortals. There's already 5 Immortals on the way and an Archon. 1 Archon is stuck behind the wall, though. And you just can't really afford to not have that Archon tanking, as the Immortals are going to get picked off. Creator has 4 once again, and I think he needs to kill a gateway here. I think Creator needs to kill a gateway to get his units out. And we'll see if he can kind of stabilize from this position. Phoenix, though, really don't have a lot of use. There's still so many queens. I think it's still 13. It's 17 queens now. Serral added on 4 more. And light drone production is starting behind this, but it's still Serral. He's just looking to keep on the pressure. And he absolutely can. This is a situation where Serral, if he just kills Crater now, wins the game. And Crater, if he doesn't hold on, loses the game. It's a really straightforward situation, and Crater can't push out. GG is called. Serral takes game number 1. So yeah, I mean, I loved the build. I loved the build from Creator. It was very interesting in the way that he was looking to try and leverage advantages, where you go into the Glaive of Depths, and then you have a transition to double Stargate when your opponent has been building roaches, and then as an answer to that, you go into the double robo facility. In theory, it's a really good idea, but the issue was Creator didn't push out with his Glaive to Depths soon enough, and Serral scattered the double Stargate. He didn't get any damage done with the Glaive to Depths, so then it was just up to the Phoenix that were kind of flying around and trying to get damage here and there, which, you know, can work, but it just wasn't really getting enough damage. And then the double robo facility, Creator just didn't have enough money. He didn't have enough to defend his first third Nexus. It got canceled. The second one wasn't up soon enough, so you just don't have enough money to make double Phoenix and double Immortal while also producing enough ground units to tank for both of those off 2 bases, essentially. It just really wasn't a good set of circumstances there for Creator. So it does mean that Serral, with that really strong timing attack, 14 queens, pushes across the map and manages to get the win. And on a map like Jagannatha, you gotta feel like it's a situation where Serral's probably pretty comfortable. This is a map that Zergs really do like because of the speed zones. It makes their timing attacks extremely potent. It makes whatever they want to do with, you know, aggression just so much easier when you have these speed zones to take advantage of, really. You can do queen walks a lot quicker. You can do run-bys a lot quicker, and if you do clean up the Protoss army when they're pushing, the rush distance on this map, while it looks like it's long, you know, it's pretty far. It's all the way down, but it's a lot quicker with the speed zones. Now, Serral sneaks in 2 Zerglings. This is something, of course, Serral is known for doing. The Zerglings should be cleaned up fairly easily, and Creator is going to be trying to hide the Stargate tech. Does manage to get it down without the Zerg seeing, which is, of course, the goal of putting it all the way over here. And this is a more standard opening. This isn't Glaives, this isn't double Stargate. At least, yes, it could still be double Stargate, but at the current moment, this is just 1 Stargate. It's probably going to be an Oracle into Phoenix or a Void Ray to help, you know, get some damage, some harassment, vision, and to clear up Overlords. And this is kind of much more the play that I would have expected from Creator. He wasn't really a player known for his extremely creative builds. He did some interesting things now and then, but it was never a situation where, you know, when you're looking at the likes of an SOS or a Parting, where he was doing really incredible stuff as, ooh, 4 drones is a decent trade there, especially for only, you know, losing 1 Adept. And we are going to see the Overlord scouts out the Stargate. It's nothing really crazy. This is something that you would expect if you are Serral to see a Stargate opener. It has been, of course, the flavor of Protoss for quite a while, and there's the Void Ray to clean up Overlords as the follow-up. So yeah, a completely standard opening here from Creator. This is much more the style that I was expecting, and we'll see how he kind of chooses to transition out of it. Because from this point, you can really go wherever you want. You can choose if you want to transition into robotics facilities, into that ground pound army with Charge Lot Storm and Immortals. Or you can add on the second Stargate. I kind of mentioned that as an option. Some Protosses like to have 2 Stargates, as the Oracle went in and didn't get too much damage at all, actually. But they like to just go for that double Stargate, Void Ray, you know, +1 air attacks, hold on to the push that eventually comes out. That's kind of a build that Zest was doing a lot a month ago or so, and he was doing the double Stargate into the early fleet beacon with the +1 to try and defend as 2 Adepts go in, and a good drone pull from Serral as they don't get any damage done. Although, ooh, the pull into the main. 3 drones already going down. 4, I mean, Creator's actually just getting a lot of damage done here with these Adepts. It's not something you usually expect to get this much damage done, but 5 drones! And the Adept gets out? No. Okay, the Adept will die as it walks into those queens. No. Oh, the Adept. It jukes. It still does. But yeah, 11 drones. 12 drones, yeah, wow. 2 oracles come in, 8 drones killed, 12 drones in total. Creator getting some really nice damage there. I mean, what, he loses 3 Adepts? 3 Adepts for 12 drones. He'll take that. Any player will take that any day of the week, and it does mean that Serral right now is actually in a really awkward position where he's sitting at 45 drones, and he hasn't been able to really make anything that he wants. He has a lot of queens, he has some zerglings, and that's about it. Meanwhile, Creator, this is an unperturbed 3rd Nexus. There's been no pressure to try and cancel it. Is already getting into the Quiet Council, the Forge, and the Robo Facility for the Immortals. Is actually a great position for Creator, getting that much damage with the Oracles and with the Adepts. As they're gonna go back in, ooh, a little bit of misfire. Could have gotten a drone there, but they just slightly mismanaged it. And you see the Void Ray hanging out. Killed 2 Overlords, and that's about all that it got, as here come the Adepts once again. The Zerglings will be able to catch them. But, oh, still loses a drone. 2 go down, so, you know, even in these times when these Adepts are getting pushed or getting cleaned up, still Creator's finding damage, which is, you know, it's really a situation that you never want to be in if you are Serral. But, well, Serral's walking the queens again. He says, listen, I am through with this. I don't want to deal with this. I've lost a lot, so here come the queens. As I said, the inhibitor or the speed zones mean that these queens can come across the map extremely quickly. And what is there for Creator? Well, he has quite a few Adepts. Has a nice stasis ward here. We'll see how many units that can catch. Is Serral, you know, ready to trigger it? He's not! Oh my god! Almost all of the Ravagers get caught. That is massive. It's gonna slow down the push so much here from Serral. I mean, he just has to wait. He's building more Ravagers, but still, that hurts so much. And behind this Creator, he's still adding on more Immortals. Already has 3 out. More Adepts also being warped in as he realizes he needs them to help deal with the Zerglings. Some great force fields come down. Shield battery overcharge is already there, and oh, the piles don't kill the pylon. Oracle's now finally gonna try and commit on in, focusing down onto the Ravagers. They managed to get 2 already. I don't know if Serral can do this. I think Creator might have held. Still has 3 Immortals, has a 4th coming in. The Ravagers are just getting focused down by Oracles. There's enough shield batteries, there's cannons as well. Yeah, Creator holds. What a brilliant hold from Creator. The stasis ward. I mean, the Biles just barely not killing the pylon is so massive. And now you have these 3 Oracles. They're just going to go across the map because I think Creator at home now, just on the ground, has enough to hold against any push that Serral tries to go for. And you're just going to see how much damage you can get done. It's 3 Oracles. Ooh, Miss Micro here is going to lose 1 of the Oracles, but I think Creator's just committing. He's just saying, listen, it's just better if I get a ton of damage here, and he's right, he can get a ton of damage down. 11, 12 drones, keeps an Oracle alive. Never mind, Queen catches it. But still, that is insane amounts of damage. I mean, Serral's on 52 workers. He committed to the Queen push. He didn't get it. He was already on a low worker count, loses 12 more. Creator, I mean, he's already getting into Archons, has Immortals, getting his +2 weapons, and charge already done. This is, I mean, Creator's in such a good position right now. He's on even supply with his opponent, and actually, Creator's even rebuilt 2 more Oracles. I actually really like that. Creator rebuilds 2 more Oracles. It's going to allow him to come in to, once again, get more drones, because Serral is not expecting more Oracles, and he has, you know, the ability to get vision again. As, ooh, Serral might have been able to commit on him there. Didn't think the gap was big enough, though, as our Archon will push that away. And And the Immortal drop here for Creator. Looking to poke around, see what he can do. This, alongside the Oracles, are the main threats to Serral, who's, I mean, still trying to get up to a decent worker count. Serral's still only at, 59, 60 workers. And it's just not a healthy count for 4 bases. He can't saturate 4 bases. He's on an equal worker count with the Protoss, who's getting, Immortals, Archons, Charge Lots. Creator's push here is coming into a lot of Zerglings and some Banelings. There's not a lot that Serral has to clear out the Archons. I'm not sure Serral can hold this. It's 5 Immortals, 3 Archons. Let's see. Another Archon adding on into the party, and they're pushed to the front as they should be. They're gonna try and tank all the damage, and already getting volleys off onto those Zerglings, and the Oracles, they just come in. They just say, hey, we don't have any anti-air. What if I just poke down the Ravagers? And they can absolutely do that. The 4th base is gonna be denied. Serral he can't push into this army from the Protoss. It is so strong. And at the same time, Creator getting his own 4th base fully up and operational, sitting at a healthy 66 workers. Probably wants to add on a few more to saturate it, but already getting +3 ground attacks. I mean, just look at the upgrades. Creator's working on +3. Serral only has now started +2. There's Storm, there's Archons, there's Immortals. The tech from Creator is better. The upgrades from Creator is better. Serral, he needs so much time to get back into this game, and it's time that I don't know if he has. His Creator has so much just kind of going in his advantage. Now pushing out with his double Archon. He either picks up and dodges. And Serral has decided that he's going to be heading on into the Spire. And we'll see how what the Spire is going to be for. The problem with the Spire is, Mutalisks will be good for counterattacks, but if you're looking at it, Creator already has cannons in a lot of his bases because he had to defend against that early push. Already has a cannon in the mineral line. So Mutalisks aren't going to get the most damage done. And Corruptors don't really have a lot of use. I mean, Serral has a big army, don't get me wrong. Serral has a pretty massive army. Right now sitting at 61 Zerglings, 32 Banelings, and a whole lot of Roach Ravager, about 12 Roaches, 13 Ravagers. It's a big army from Serral, but it's not an army that can trade efficiently. Now, he's going to catch out the Zealot run by. Creator is moving across the map at the same time, and this might be a chance here for Serral, is if he catches the Protoss while the Protoss is moving out himself. If you look at this, a really big army from Creator has been moved up to this left flank. Once again, going to try and cancel that 4th base. It is 6 Archons. Again, against such a high Zergling count, those 6 Archons with +3? Those Zerglings are going to melt. The Zerglings are going to melt, and there's a massive storm on all of the Banelings! Oh my god! Creator, with only half his army, cleans up all of the Zerglings, all of the Banelings, and sure, he's going to get cleaned up himself, but he's bringing in the reinforcements. More Archons are coming in. Oh, that engagement from Serral just was not what he wanted. And now there are more Immortals in with this army. The Archons, their numbers have been thinned out, but what are you going to do? There's so many Immortals. 9 Immortals just chunking away at this Roach Ravager. And sure, he loses some, but it doesn't matter. GG, Creator takes game 2. And I am so excited for this game 3. Game 1, we saw some cool ideas from Creator. Didn't eventually end up culminating in anything for him, as Serral's push was just too strong. And now we head into game number 3. After game 2, Creator, standard macro opening, gets what he wants done, finds damage with the Adepts and the Oracles, and just macros out from there, defends the push. Such a sick game. How will game 3 go, though? Oxide, another massive map. This map, it is harder to make those queen pushes work because you need the creep spread, and it's a lot more distance to cover, even from the close third. So even if, for instance, even if you take this third base here as Serral, it still is a good amount of distance all the way up to your opponent's third, considering Creator takes this one. But Serral, he takes the far third here. This is easier to defend, and it's more kind of pointing towards Serral wanting to go into a macro game. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Creator there in that last game just did so good with the Oracles. I mean, the Oracles and the Adepts. He would just push in 2 Adepts at a time. It was finding damage. Was just finding consistent damage in trades with the Adepts. Got, I mean, 12 worker kills at one point. It set Serral back. It forced Serral into an awkward timing for his attack. For his queen push. And it's not a queen push that I'm even sure Serral wanted to do, because it really did feel awkward. He had enough for it, but I'm not sure if Serral wanted to pull the trigger there on it. Now, of course, the thing about Oxide is, when you're looking at it, you have the rocks that you can knock down. These do make it more accessible to get to your opponent's bases. This pretty much opens up the fast path from your natural to their third, is what that does. It's something that the Zergs do like to do. It also gives you additional flank paths. If the Protoss or the Terran is pushing into your third base here. So I'm sure we'll see Serral knock those down, as we do have Adept pushing on in, gonna scout out the natural base timing, or the third base timing, from Serral. And it's a Robo Facility first. Robo Facility after the Twilight Council. We'll see. Ooh. I was gonna say, we'll see what the tech choice is here, because usually you don't see the early Robo unless it's something like an Archon drop, which we haven't seen in such a long time, or DTs. And the Dark Templar boys are coming out. I'm excited. I haven't seen a proper DT build in a while, and we'll see if it is the Dark Templars trying to get damage, or if it's going to be an Archon drop. Now, Archon drop is a build that has not been in meta for, I mean, probably like 2 years or so since I've seen Archon drop be in the meta. For a while, it was the go-to build. If you wanted to have a strong opening against your opponent, you would go for an Archon drop, which would allow you to macro out of it. But in recent times, Zergs kind of learned how to defend against it, and they learned how to get, you know, enough defense to properly shove it back, while also being able to kill their opponent with the push that follows. Now, there is only a single Spore Crawler on the way. I was just gonna say, there should be a second one. There we go, second one and the third. It's 4 Adepts with this Warp Prism, so this might be an Archon. This might be Archons, is what I'm thinking here. We only have 1 DT on the way. Just a single Dark Templar is going to start picking away here at this Queen. I actually would really like to see Archons here. I don't think it would be too bad at all. The Creator, he's just pushing around to this 1 Dark Templar, threatening with it and saying that, you know, pretty much, he knows that Serral knows it's there, and is using it to try and keep Serral kind of on its toes for when this DT can find its way into a base. At the same time, 2 more being warped on in. I believe that is at home, if I am not wrong. There we go. Serral decides not to push on in. And we're gonna have kind of the stalemate here for a little while. Serral doesn't have enough units to really push the base with the Dark Templar, you know, as the defense. And especially now that they're an Archon. And Creator, with this 1 DT, can get damage done, which has now morphed into an Archon. So, can get damage done with it. Not a lot, though. There are enough Queens, there are enough Roaches to defend that Creator, if Serral positions correctly, shouldn't get a lot of damage. And at the same side, Serral can get damage done to his opponent. As that Overlord is just going to be left to be. We have Blink on the way. Immortals being produced alongside this third base. So Creator has a very clear vision of where this is going. It's going to be going into Immortals and perhaps Blink Stalkers is going to be his composition. That's a good pullback there from Creator, protects the probes. Just making sure that he doesn't take any damage to Creator. I gotta say, in these more just kind of straight up macro situations, has been playing it really well. You know, he's constantly has something across the map that's threatening the Zerg and making sure that they can't comfortably push out. In this case, it is just a single Archon, but it's still, you know, that threat. And at the same time, has enough defense back at home. I gotta say, I really like this from Creator. One Archon just being annoying, and of course Serral has enough roaches that he's able to defend against this Archon and constantly have them in position. But it is just forcing the APM out of Serral to be used somewhere else as... Oh. Okay, hallucinate Phoenix House. Wasn't sure exactly what was on the map as more Archons coming on the way. Blink is almost finished up, and it is Stalkers, so Creator here is going for Blink Stalkers, +1 attack, and Immortals. And that's going to be his attack. Which I don't know if I've necessarily really seen a lot of. I've seen Neeb do a build like this, actually. I've seen Neeb do a +1 Blink Stalker attack. And it has worked very, very well in North America against players like Scarlet. We'll have to see how this works against Serral, because Serral does have a very large army. It's a lot of Roach Ravagers. It's also 8 Swarm Hosts on the way. Ooh. I have not seen Swarm Hosts in ZVP in a while, but I really like it. Yeah, 11 Swarm Hosts. I mean, Serral, he's gonna try and get a lot of damage done with these. The goal is with Swarm Hosts, you don't want to defend with them. You want to be across the map, and if you can defend with the ground army that you already have, these Swarm Hosts will allow you to just push and to have so many more units with your push that it is extremely hard for the Protoss to hold on as... Woo. That was close. As Serral almost gets the Swarm Host scouted out, but it's still rather unknown until just now, as the Observer is going to see it, and now Creator has a bit of a dilemma. He has to defend against the Swarm Host, but he also has to defend against this massive Roach Ravager army that is threatening his front door. They come. Gonna see if they can pick off some nice blinks back, and is Creator gonna lose 1 Stalker? I don't think Creator even lost a Stalker there. But here comes the push. Oh, this is dangerous. Serral doesn't want to push up into Archons, and I think Creator split his army perfectly here. Doesn't take any damage. I mean, does exactly what he needs to make sure that he takes no damage. Yes, I mean, 5 Immortals already, actually, for Creator, and that, of course, is enough that if he wants to, he can absolutely shoot through those roaches. As nice pick off there from Creator. Gets a Swarm Host and can just blink away. But the question is, does Creator have enough for the follow-up? It's Night Swarm, it's Lurkers. But here comes a double Archon drop into the main. It's going to scout out the Lurker Den. So Creator absolutely knows what's happening. Stalker's being blinked back once again. Creator just taking no damage from these Swarm Hosts. It's a really impressive play right now from our NV Protoss. Once again, Archon's going in, looking to see if they can snipe some drones and do so. Oh, and here comes Creator. He's pushing across. He's bringing all of the Immortals, and mind you, this isn't your grandma's Immortal count. It's 7 for Creator. It is a massive army. We'll have to see. He's just gonna push it. Creator's just going in. He says this is the time to strike, but there are Swarm Hosts in the back that are getting so much damage done. I don't know if Creator has enough to push this. Serral, he's gonna rematch on, or remax on Roaches. He's gonna push again. Now the Swarm Hosts are running out. The Locusts are about to die, and that is the next point for Creator to push, but that's a lot of bile damage. I don't know if Creator took too much damage with the bile. Serral, he's remaxing. He can't run into the Immortals, though. There are so many of them left. This Immortal Ball just trying to push down the charge lots. There's a lot of them. Is it enough? Does he have enough? I feel like Serral's army is starting to dwindle here. I don't know where the reinforcements are. There aren't any across the map. There are Roaches that are being rebuilt, but that's a base that has died. Creator pushes the issue, manages to get enough damage. There's still a lot of Immortals left. And these Roaches, they're not Ravagers. They don't trade well against these Immortals. I think Creator can push this to a win. I think Creator might have done it. Finally, there are more locusts on the way, and this is the brunt of the supply for Serral is in these locusts. He's gonna focus down the immortals. Manages to get one, manages to get a second. But now there are DTs on the way, and the DTs are gonna start to shred through the roaches. I think Creator, has he done it? I mean, finally he's gonna get cleaned up. The Dark Templar will pull back. And both of these players cancel each other's bases. Creator's 4th base was attacked by roaches and a Nidus Worm. Creator, though, snipes the 4th for Serral. Another Nidus Worm on the way, though, and Creator's supply has dipped massively. He committed so much to that attack. He wanted to get the win there, but the swarm hosts were too much. There were too many roaches on the Remax. And now his supply has just, I mean, it's in the dumpster. I don't want to say it, but it is really bad. And now the locusts are going to have free reign of what they want to do. They're going to start to try and snipe down pylons. They're going to look for the forge as well. I don't think Creator has enough at home to stop that from happening. What are the upgrades for Creator, though? It's +2 only. And now you're seeing Serral. I mean, he's taking an 80 supply lead, a 90 supply lead. 91, or 81 supply lead. And again, a lot of it is in swarm hosts, but I don't know if Creator has enough to really fight the roach army either. Like, look at how big this roach force is. Sure, there are a lot of immortals, but again, once the locusts come through, then, you know, it's really bad for Creator, and he's just blinking in. Creator's just running right on into the roaches and the ravagers. He says, I have enough. And can Creator make it work? I mean, this is a very efficient army. It's so many immortals, it's Archons, it's Stalkers. Sure, it trades well. I don't know if it trades that well. And there's the recall. Creator shoves Serral back to 3 bases. And if Creator can keep Serral on this low base count, Serral, he needs gas for his transition. Serral needs gas to be able to get into lurkers. And if he doesn't have that gas, then there is not really a transition here for Serral. It's going to take a while for him to be able to get into it. Now, he's working on the lurker upgrades, but it is still just roaches. It is just roaches for Serral. It is roaches and his swarm hosts. Now, he's picking up a lot of gateways. Creator here has lost quite a few. As now, ooh, this next push might be dangerous. There are already defenses ready. And Creator has rebuilt properly. I was scared for a second as he was down, you know, 81 supply. But he's managed to get back into a decent count. Looking to snipe off some swarm hosts. Gets 2 and blinks out. Only loses 2 stalkers. That's absolutely worthwhile. But this attack from Serral might just try to end the game. Is there enough for Creator? There's the immediate shield battery overcharge that goes down. He's going to be able to heal up most everything. And actually, Serral not able to push that. Recognizes the strength of the overcharge. Still, we have more and more Nidus Worms going down. Just Serral always on top of just constantly putting down Nidus Worms as an Archon and Immortal across the map. Not going to be able to get too much damage done. And we have +3 on the way for Serral. More lurker upgrades. He's saved up enough gas. He hasn't really built any units for the past 2 minutes. And now has 6 lurkers on the way. As, oh no, this could be dangerous. Oh, Creator, can he pick off a few of these swarm hosts? He's trying to. But the locusts are the ones that are getting focused. Doesn't pick off as many as you would like. Looks, oh, they make it the robo facility. That'd be absolutely huge. That's the only one that Creator has. Creator now, he has to win with this push. Creator's trying to push and he has to win with it. But there's so much Zerg. There's so many roaches. There's lurkers now. I don't know if Creator can push this. He's lost so much to the swarm hosts. And sure, he has a good immortal count. Sure, he has a lot of stalkers, but stalkers don't clean up lurkers. They really don't. You can see here, Creator, he's just taking so much damage on the flank. He's trying to push in, but Serral just has too much. The lurkers are too strong. I mean, the stalker's gonna try and blink on in, but it's not enough. Creator, he tried hard, but GG is called, and Serral gets the 2-1.